And now, through the magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future, Transformers Slag Podcast.
Oh, we got a busy day today. Oh, we got a busy day today to talk about the robots. My hair is a mess, by the way. I was very busy today working on some cars. But man, it is a week of Transformers to talk about. A double whammy of movies and everything. And I gotta fix my hair. Jeez, as bad as my hair already is. How we all doing? This is the Transformer Slag Podcast, Saturday night live stream main event. My name's Proto Man. This is the voice that you hear Monday to Friday, and Saturday night today you're going to be looking at this ugly face while we talk about Transformers, take some questions and super chats from the fans and the YouTube members, and just relax this evening because we got a lot to talk about with Transformers. A lot of shifting elements that are going to be happening in the next couple of years that are going to be affecting the brand. All the things we're going to be talking about today aren't going to be stuff that's going to be affecting us tomorrow or next week, but stuff that are going to be affecting us in the next month and the next year. And I mean, let's just get into it, man. Let's just get into it. But again, nice to see everybody. We got let's see, Rodimus Powers from Germany. He's popping in. Nice to see you again, Rodimus Power. Michael Koo is here. Horned Owl, Lord Soundwarp, Roman Schillen, I hope I'm not missing, Lizard Sphere X, Andy Davis, Princeton Phalanx 59, Van Hope is here too, Ashnut, I hope I'm not missing nobody. We got a super chat from Aiden Tolbert already. We're going to get into all of that. Let me just take Aiden Tolbert's question. Imagine if Optimus wore Grimlock's sparkless shell after he reborn and face off at events mech. I guess you're assuming, let's see, if it's mech, then we're talking a Transformers Prime universe where Grimlock is technically part of it if you count the video game stuff. Paula Goober's here too. It's going to be a big one, Goober. It's going to be a big one. We're covering a lot of stuff. I'm wearing today the glow in the dark special edition 86 movie jacket that came out. Geez, I want to say 15 years ago.
Be stopped.
So just for the occasion, so to speak, wearing of course the Symbiote Studios Optimus Prime freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Thank you, Symbiote Studios, for sponsoring this video and this live stream. Let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about. People are hyped. I know people are just rolling in right now. I caught Aaron Archer's live stream yesterday, and in the last 5 seconds of his live stream, he's like, "Oh my god, I didn't talk about the trailer." So I'm sure Aaron's going to be popping in any moment also to give his 2 cents. But let's get into it. We got a lot to cover. There's a lot of big news stuff that's really going to affect the future of it. Not just movie stuff, but let's first talk about collaborations. Pop. Oh, that didn't work. There we go. Let's talk about Mattel and Hasbro joining forces. Let's talk about, Twins Corner's here too. Everyone's here today. It's popping today. So let's talk about first Hasbro and Mattel joining forces. This is something that's been rumbling for a while, to be honest with you. This is something that, man, I want to say 5 years ago this discussion was happening. It's just, when Toys R Us really went under in the United States, and Hasbro kind of was like protecting Toys R Us as much as they could in any other region. And just like, Mattel was the same thing. These were two companies that are like, with Toys R Us down, we're going to be in a weird situation because then Walmart and Target could kind of also strong arm us. So they started really having discussions between each other for the past couple of years, both Hasbro and Mattel, and collaborating and working on keeping the toy industry alive and afloat. I mean, it's no surprise that not long after Toys R Us goes under, there's a strong push for the Lego stores to really get a whole bunch of locations because Lego was kind of like, well, I think we're going to need to rely on direct market and selling to our customers than retail. So Mattel and Hasbro working together, this was a long time coming. And they're going to be doing a lot of stuff in the future. And to kind of commemorate that collaboration, that beginning of working together among what all their brands and licenses, they're going to be doing some stuff for 2024. Some stuff that's going to be happening actually in 2023. There's going to be a Monopoly Barbie game based off of the Barbie movie that's going to be coming out next month. There's going to be an Uno Transformers, which is probably going to have a little bit of a Rise of the Beast flavor to it because they plan for that to come out around the time of Rise of the Beast in July. And then the big news was in 2024, there's going to be even a Hot Wheels branded Transformers line that they're going to be working on. I'm imagining something very in tune with what we got with RPMs back in the day during the early movie stuff. But still, it shows that they're really mixing stuff together. And who knows what we could see in the future. Because Mattel, let's be real, they're more of a doll and die cast company. And while they do make He-Man and they do make a few other things, if you have the Hasbro action figure 6-inch monster behind it, or even the 3-inch stuff that they do, and you take Mattel's Jason the Wheeled Warriors or Street Sharks or some of the other brands that they haven't touched in years, Brave Star, you know, there's a lot of interesting stuff that could come from this. Not to mention, people were talking about Transformers collaborations, Transformers He-Man collaboration. Might see some crazy stuff with that. There's a lot that could happen, like Eternia. We've already seen collaborations with He-Man with other brands, be it, the WWE stuff that Mattel already has and others, but this is very interesting. So we're gonna definitely cover this as it evolves over the next couple of months because like I said, to a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about today is going to be stuff that's going to be affecting Hasbro, the toy industry, and of course the Transformer brand for not just the next week, but the next month, the next year, and the next couple of years. And it really starts here with this joining forces to keep the toy industry alive. Us with the plastic crack. We love our plastic crack. Keeps us away from drugs, I hope. Um, Before we get into, of course, the big news this week, let's talk about some small stuff here and there too. I want to just address so people know because they come here to get informed, educated, and entertained. For people that were waiting for that new Dirge that's going to be coming out. So if anyone is unaware, we had the Earthrise Dirge Ramjet 2-pack that was an Amazon exclusive. And if you wanted to complete your Seeker Jets, it was a nightmare because it sold out and people were scalping it. And then Hasbro saw the money on the wall and went, hey man, let's just reissue these after those contractual obligations expire. And now we have a new Dirge in a Legacy Evolution package. We knew about this already, but someone actually got one in hand, in retail and stuff. And here's some good news. If you bought the Amazon version, which by the way is the wing shown on the bottom left there, the Amazon version had black wings that were painted over and were subject to paint chipping and it being damaged and everything. Hasbro fixed that problem with the new version here, the Legacy Evolution one, and now it's molded in that tan color that Dirge has. So if anything, it's a better version. And what's up, Aaron Archer? Good live stream yesterday. I'll be sure to plug it later. It was good stuff. Yeah, the Mattel news also, man. That's something especially to talk about too. Make a note next week for Friday to talk about it because even though it'll be week-old news, hearing your 2 cents will be very important, especially from your perspective and everything. But yeah, so again, the Dirge here, if you have not picked up Dirge, now is an opportunity to get him, and he's actually a better version than the original. It's the BotCon situation all over again. People were freaking out about not getting the cone heads because they were part of the BotCon 2007 box set, Games of Deception. And then what happened? Hasbro did a mainline release. It had better tooling, better wings, and in the end, retail wins over the exclusives. So if you didn't get Dirge through the Earthrise Amazon stuff, you're in good luck because now you are able to pick him up in retail. He's going to be mainline and he's better than the original. So great stuff. Keep in mind. That's out. That's popping up right now. People are starting to find that in retail. This one, I believe, was found in Canada. So good stuff. Next up, for people that are the high rollers. So RoboSen, the people that made that extremely expensive $1,000 transforming Optimus Prime figure. They did a non-transforming Bumblebee one recently. They showed an exclusive gold version of the Optimus, and now they are going to be doing a Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime version. This one also will not transform, but because it doesn't transform much like the Bumblebee, it will be less expensive, probably something in that $500 range. And I'll tell you something, if you got $500 and you're going to spend it on a Transformer, either you really love movie Optimus designs or go get yourself anything else in Transformers. You're not too far off from when HasLab Unicron was MSRP, so it is what it is. But I mean, for those who are into it, hey, all to you. I'm not going to rag on your parade. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. But Robocen Optimus is coming from Rise of the Beasts, but I'd rather see the Beasts. And speaking of the Beasts, let's talk about it. These are going to be our two topics for today. A trailer that we got to see and I guess we'll call it a CinemaCon panel. But let's talk about a trailer first. So we got to see the final trailer for Transformers Rise of the Beasts. I did an individual segment talking about it, breaking it down. Um, a lot of the stuff that I hinted at, if you were longtime listeners of the podcast all this time, a lot of the stuff that I was hinting at now coming to public fruition. Unicronian, as I kept saying over and over in relation to the Terracons. For anyone that missed it, there it is now. Um, a few other things that have been made public since then, thanks to the director, Stephen Capel Jr., the origin of the Maximals. Um, in a vague term, they come from a different planet than the Autobots of 1994. That's another public statement. But yeah, beautiful trailer. Looks good. Obviously, it's one of these things where I always say, show me, don't tell me. And they're showing it to me. And I like it. It looks good. I mean, there's a lot of still questions that a lot of people have. What's with the exosuit, that Noah has, or the kicker armor from Energon Superlink, some people could call it. Unicron being there. There's a lot of stuff going on here. But it's something where if you are a 90s kid and you grew up with Beast Wars, this is a movie that you're going to be excited about. If you are a G1er who grew up in the 80s and the pinnacle of G1, the 86 movie, again, wearing that, yeah. If you were a pinnacle 86 movie guy, you got your Unicron. Stephen Capel Jr., the director, said that this is going to be the beginning of this is their Thanos, pretty much. This is the big reveal, the big teaser, the big bad that is going to be the overarching story, which is something that makes me very happy to hear, because the one problem that these Transformer live action movies had is they were episodic, for a lack of better words. You could watch any of them stand alone, and you didn't have to watch anything before, and you really didn't have to watch anything after to get your story. Some might argue that's a good thing. You have a movie that's a beginning, middle, and end. But in a current cinema landscape today that we live in, where we're expected to, you watch Captain America, and then that leads into an Avengers movie, and then the Avengers movie leads into the next Iron Man movie, and people want to have a continuous serial storyline with their movie theater experience. They want to watch a movie, feel invested, and know that they have to see the next iteration because they are invested with those characters. The Twins Corner says, I felt like they ruined it by revealing Unicron now. It would have been a fantastic prize to see in theaters. And Twins, I would argue against that. And I'll tell you why. Because when you are making ticket sales, all right, yes, it's a fantastic reveal for us as the fans. But the problem is, and this was the same problem that they had with the Snake Eyes movie, is It doesn't matter if the movie is good or bad. It matters is if you get people excited to even see it at all. And a lot of people were telling me, "Oh, the GI Joe movie was bad. The Snake Eyes movie was bad. It wasn't accurate." And that's why no one went to see it. But the reality is no one went to see it. So how would you even know if it's good or bad? So by showing Unicron in this trailer, you're getting people that were, oh, it's Beast Wars. I don't like Beast Wars. Truck Not Monkey. So all those G1er guys who number one probably already hate the Bay movies to begin with. They all like there's a target audience that already was checked out and didn't want anything to do with it. Oh, these aren't my Transformers, and they're doing those gorillas and the cheetahs. I was I was in high school and I didn't care anymore about toys now, but now I care because I'm a sellout and everyone else likes it. It's the typical stuff, but you got to get those guys by the balls. You do. And showing Unicron gets them to go, "Whoa, whoa, 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 wait, what?" And look, for all we know, Unicron might only be a small part of this movie, but the point is that it's going to get those people to come into the movie. It's going to get them to come in. We have not had a live action movie or anything like that in 5 years. It's been a while. Aaron Archer says here, are there really still haters, Truck Not Monkey? Bro, I see it all the time. You have to understand something. Like when you do toy conventions and you people come to your table and they're not Transformer fans. They're your casual come to Comic-Con conventions, go meet Lou Ferrigno, get the autograph, casual geek fans. People that in all honesty 10 years ago didn't even care about this stuff, but now they're into Marvel movies. Now they're into Star Wars movies. Now they're into DC movies. That's what they do on their Friday night. They watch all the Netflix stuff. They have a Disney Plus account, all of that. And now they're into this stuff, but they're all very casual about it. And the problem is they look at Beast Wars and they went, that's not my Transformers. And I meet those guys all the time. All the time. It's not one individual, it's many people. And it pretty much shows in the numbers of sales. There's a reason why we still get so much G1 throwback stuff and Beast Wars is still kind of held back because even Hasbro sees that every so often they put out a Cheetor toy, they put out something, and it does okay. It sells well enough, but it doesn't sell well enough as a Truck Optimus, a Bumblebee, or something like that. The G1 still is the foundation of Transformers that a lot of casual fans associate with the brand. It's a sad truth. There's more people that know a Starscream than a Cheetor, even though Cheetor was the face of Transformers for half a decade. Literally. There was more people that cared about Cheetor than Starscream ever did back in 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, and a little bit of 2000 when Beast Machines hit. But it's really it's the carrot that is on the string that is going to get that donkey into the theater, for a lack of better words. It literally is because you have to be able to get these people to come and see it. I understand it's the whole, oh, well, I don't want to be spoiled. It would have been a great, surprise. It's, you know what? There could still be other surprises, but you need to have that carrot. And gorillas and cheetahs and rhinos and, hawks are great for the 90s guys that grew up on that and love that to death. Again, I grew up with G1. 86 movie was my jam, but I'm not going to look at you in the face and not say Beast Wars is the greatest Transformer series of all time. It is. It is. I'm sorry. I understand you grew up in the 2010s, you grew up with Transformers Prime. I'm going to call it as it is. I grew up with G1. I still think Beast Wars is better, you know? So it's something where it's going to get those 90s guys in there for the gorilla, for the cheetah, for all of that. And you got RC, 1986 movie staple. You got Unicron, 1986 movie staple. You got Unicronian characters called Terracons here in Scourge. There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot going on here. No, it's Twins Corner. It's okay. Everyone's allowed to have an opinion. I just want to give my opinion on it because a lot of people have been telling me that it was stupid that they showed Unicron. And I disagree. You know what I say, guys? After we're done talking here today, go look at reaction. Go look at reaction videos for this trailer. And I'm not talking about reaction trailers from people within the Transformer community. I'm talking about reaction trailers from guys who consume all of the mass media. A reaction trailer channel that also watches Marvel stuff, that also watches DC stuff, that's going to watch a My Little Pony thing. And you're going to see when Unicron shows up, everyone's eyes widen up. They know. They know. They know. They might not know that gorilla, but they sure as hell well know that Planet Eater. Because the 86 movie, for the longest time, people have to remember something. Back in the 90s, if you went to a video rental store when those were a thing back in the day, think about it. We're talking pre-streaming era. The pre-streaming era, before we had streaming services, before it was so easy to pull up anything of anything that was ever made. If you wanted to watch Transformers back in 1996, you either turned on the TV and watched Beast Wars, there was no reruns of G1 or G2, or you went to the video rental store, and what was usually the only piece of media that existed in a video rental store? The 86 movie. And what a piece of media to exist. Because if people wanted to consume Transformers, they were feeling nostalgic back in 95, 96, 97, the 86 movie was available to them. And what a piece of media to make people associate with Transformers. Why do you think people have such a glowing view of G1? Because of the 86 movie. Because of the amazing music, the amazing animation, the fact that it had the balls to kill off characters on screen. It was a Japanese anime in 1986, when at the time, when you look at what other cartoons were, they weren't taking those risks. So you have to understand there is a large swath of population that Unicron is a big deal to them. A big, big deal. And when you put that carrot in front of them, oh man, that donkey's coming to the theater. And we need that donkey because this movie needs to do well. Bumblebee movie, after the advertising and everything, broke even. Toys didn't sell well. You know, we need to have something where these people see this movie, they like it, they buy toys. There's a whole business side to it that I'm sorry, guys. The emotional fans are missing the point. They are missing the point. Retro Cabal, my man, Filipino number 1 and 2, combining Beast Wars and 86 movie Chef's Kiss Moi. My man, he knows what's up, you know? He knows what's up. But that's what I'm saying. You know, it's there's a whole business side to it that you need to take your emotions out of it because it's the same way whenever I see like a movie come out and people go, "Why isn't this character or that character in it?" Save it for the sequel. Save it for the sequel, guys. Save it for the sequel. You can't give everything in one shot. You know, where's Rat Trap? He'll be in the sequel. You know? Where's Beast Wars Dinobot? He'll be in the sequel. Plenty of time. That's how you pace things. What if they want to do a trilogy, like a Unicron trilogy, a modern day Unicron trilogy, the film Unicron trilogy? You know, you got to pace it. New characters lead to new toys. It's a whole process. And if you don't understand that, then you're not reading the room of how this works. And you haven't been paying attention to this podcast enough, evidently. But there's a lot of great stuff going on here. I'm excited. I don't know if everyone's excited, and that's fine. That's fine if you're not excited. If this movie doesn't speak to you, that's okay. But there's time for all of this to percolate, to transpire. And all I could say is we're going to go see it. We all are going to see it. You know, people in my comments going, "Oh, it's stupid. I'm checked out. I'm not going to go see it." All right, that's cool. That's cool. But you took the time to watch the trailer and then go to my segment, listen to that, and then give your 2 cents. I mean, I get a feeling you're probably still going to go see it. I really do. You know, I really do. But we'll see what happens. Michael Koo says there are so many YouTubers doing reaction videos for the latest Rise of the Beast trailer. Yeah, of course. Of course. And again, to me, the most valuable information is the non-Transformer fans. Those are the ones I care about the most. I don't care about watching. That's why I didn't record a reaction trailer. To me, I don't care about that. To me, I want to know the reactions and the opinions of the non-Transformer fans. Because here's a reality, guys. They make up the majority of the ticket sales. If we really took, like, if somehow we could take a survey and find out of, like, you know, the $800 million, excuse me, $900 million that Revenge of the Fallen made, and how many of those were hardcore Transformer fans and how many of those were casual moviegoer fans, I'm going to say it's a lot more of the latter than the former. You know, it really is. So we'll see what happens. Lizard Sphere X says, "Where are the Preds? Save it for the next movie." He can't give everyone everything. If you give him everything, it's too much. You know, imagine if this movie strolled up with all of the Maximal season 1 cast, all the Predacon season 1 cast, and Unicron and Unicron's Unicronians. Way too much. Way too much. Overkill. You got to pace it. You got to pace it, you know? If Marvel needed 4 movies before we got to an Avengers event, the least you could ask is for one movie to take its time here with Transformers. In a lot of ways, we're going to use this as an opportunity to look back at what we had with the Michael Bay movies, kind of brush it under the rug, and move forward to a new way of storytelling. And let's just hope it all works out. Let's just hope it all works out. Again, there was one individual that claimed to have seen the movie and said it was a mess, but I did a little more research on that individual, and it seems that they didn't see the movie, and all they do is write clickbait articles about how every movie sucks. So, not a very good example of someone that I would pay attention to, but it is what it is. Twins Corner with the $7 super chat. Cheetor is going to be my MVP. Love how they nailed his beast form in cat actions and growls, and just, yeah, I'm predicting Air Razor is gonna die. Not gonna say anything there, but yeah. You're, I don't want to say anything. But yeah, the Cheetor growls, yeah, they literally mixed some audio from the original Mainframe Beast Wars show. If you watch the trailer and there's that split second where you see Cheetor like pouncing one of those Scorponok kind of Terracon units, Sand Spear, Scorponok, whatever you want to call them, you hear his growl effect when he would maximize in the show, like the exact same audio mix. So there's love going on there, even from an audio mix level. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Maybe it's just because I'm a Beast Wars guy. Maybe because I grew up on the '86 movie, and like David Cabal said, a perfect menagerie of two of the best things Transformers has ever given us. And I mean, look, it's not going to be a 3-hour slog. It's not Michael Bay directing. So, right away, in my opinion, we're off to a good start. So, let's see what happens. And we'll definitely talk about it more in the future. Transformatics YouTube member question. Hi, Proto. Hi, all. Just popping in to say hello. We're off to see the band Clutch tonight in Vancouver. So you're in the West Coast. Nice to see you come down on the West Coast. Watch the taped version of. We'll watch the taped version of the show. Enjoy all. Have a great night. Well, thank you for coming by, Transformatics, and enjoy the concert. Now we're going to get into the second piece. Bam! Transformers 1. This was another one that was blowing up in my private messages, and a lot of people really not happy. Really, 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 really not happy. So we'll get into it. I'm sure a lot of you guys want to also give your opinions through the super chats and stuff, but we'll get into it. So this was something that was shown at CinemaCon. They had a panel, and Paramount was talking about their latest addition to the Transformers cinematic world, the Transformers 1 animated CG movie that is scheduled to come out July 19th next year, 2024. So, that wasn't the thing that really caused any kind of outcry. The outcry was the announcement of the actors. And if you watched my individual segment that I did just a couple days ago, you already have my opinions. But for people that didn't watch it or just coming in for the live stream to chill, look, I get it. This is something that I've had this discussion before with very predominant, long time, 40 years and 50 years in the business voice actors, and how their opportunities shrinked. Where these were people that were doing Disney movies for years, and around the time of Aladdin and Lion King, the phone calls weren't coming back anymore. And next thing you know, we entered the Shrek era where every single voice acting role of any predominance is played by a celebrity in Hollywood. And he gave his opinion. If you want to hear the whole story, I don't want to go too much into it because his identity is important, and I don't want to hurt his opportunities in Hollywood in the future and stuff. But again, very predominant individual. Got to sit down with him, and he was just not a fan of it. But he explained what happens, and this is a reality of the business. Again, this goes back to what I was just saying about Rise of the Beasts. Hey, would you like Dan Gilbazin to be Bumblebee? Maybe the hardcore fans would, but you know what? The casual fans have no idea who that is. But you know who they do know? The guy from the YouTube videos of Key and Peele, the guy who was Toad in the Super Mario movie. They know that. And they know that while you don't see those faces in animation, and if you weren't told that it was those actors, you probably wouldn't even realize it either. And that's always a sad truth. I mean, I always felt that if you were never told that any of these actors were these characters, you probably wouldn't even recognize their voice anyways. But it's the marquee. That's what it is. When the trailer for this movie hits, you know there's going to be the marquees. They're going to show their names. You know that they're going to have them. Look, the Super Mario movie that just came out. Look how many of all of those actors for the Super Mario movie were paraded around for interviews and all kinds of stuff. Jack Black, bless him, doing all this crazy stuff. These people, even though they are not voice actors, they are still celebrities that they are going to use for every single interview, every single talk show, every single YouTube video to promote this and use these as characters. Yes, is Chris Hemsworth going to be Optimus Prime? He will be. Will he be a good Optimus Prime? I don't know. But you know that he's going to be doing every single video. He's going to be on Entertainment Tonight talking about this Transformer movie and how he's the leader of the Autobots. And I'd hate to say it, but Entertainment Tonight isn't picking up Peter Cullen's phone, nor are they interviewing him. They probably know him best as Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh at best, And it's a sad truth, but it's a reality of the business. It's frustrating. It can be stupid sometimes, but it's sadly the way of the monster is. And the only people we have to blame, in all honesty, is mainstream audiences because they're the only ones that don't get it. And they'll never get it. But that's why they're the mainstream audience. Education and intelligence is not something that is freely distributed. It is something that is carefully put out. And the mainstream doesn't need to possess that. They just need to buy a ticket because Thor is there, or Black Widow, or the guy from Key and Peele, or the guy from The Matrix, or the guy from the recent Top Gun Maverick movie, or the guy who played Miles Morales' dad in the Spider-Man animated movie, which most people didn't even see. They went to see Far From Home, that made $1.1 billion, but they didn't really see the Spider-Man movie that made only 400 million, excuse me. So, I mean, look, I get it. So just to go through it quickly for people that are confused, Chris Hemsworth, Optimus Prime, aka Orion Pax. Brian Henry is going to be Megatron. That was the guy who was the voice of Miles Morales' dad in the Spider-Man movie. Scarlett Johansson is Alita 1. Black Widow, need I say more? If you haven't been paying attention up to this point. Keenan Michael Key, aka Key and Peele, from all those YouTube videos and stuff from Get Out. He's really, honestly, I like him a lot personally. One of my best YouTube videos actually featured him in it. He's going to be Bumblebee, probably going to be doing a very Bumper Robinson kind of Bumblebee, animated Bumblebee. John Hamm, who recently did Top Gun Maverick, he has a contract with Paramount, so he's doing a lot of Paramount movies. He's going to be Sentinel Prime. He was also in 30 Rock and Curb Your Enthusiasm, Mad Men, probably most people would know him from. And Lawrence Fishburne, Morpheus, The Matrix, mentor character in those. And guess who he's going to be here? He's going to be Alpha Trion. So, look, any one of these individuals is going to get a quick phone call to be on Jimmy Fallon. Any of them. Scarlett Johansson is going to be on Jimmy Fallon talking about a Transformer movie. Lawrence Fishburne is going to be on Entertainment Tonight talking about a Transformer movie. Chris Hemsworth is going to be on the red carpet pimping a Transformer movie. That's what you got to realize in the end. If it was Peter Cullen, Frank Welker, Marilyn Newstone, Dan Gilbazin, The voice actor for Alpha Trion isn't with us anymore. And let's say they got Patrick Warburton, the live action version of the Tick, to play Sentinel Prime, doing that little animated Sentinel Prime connection there. Let's say, you know, they're not going to be getting the same media attention and coverage. And when you're talking this kind of stuff, which by the way, these movies are cheaper to make, easier to make, and will bring in more profit, you're going to want to give it the pretty much every chance they get. And yeah, Lizards for X. I don't like Jimmy Fallon. Don't get me wrong. Just because I'm saying those things doesn't mean I like him, but I know the monster. I understand the system. Jimmy Fallon is a fake. All those talk show guys, they're all phonies. All of them. Fake, written for them trash. But you know what? Mainstream gobbles that stuff up. Millions of views, millions of clips on YouTube, late night views. People eat that stuff up. And guess what? We still live in a world today where that's where Chris Hemsworth is going to be doing an interview. He's not going to be on Angry Black Nerd, and I love Andre. He's not going to be doing something with Game Grumps. I love Aaron. Aaron Hansen. Aaron Archer, I love too. Aaron Hansen. He's not going to be on those things. He's going to be on these mainstream stuff, pimping Transformers. Pimping it. And you need to have those celebrities, those talking heads. And if that's what it takes for me to get my all Cybertron, no humans, character development story, building a brand, what we've all wanted from day one, looking at the beginning of that Bumblebee live action movie, looking at those first 5 minutes and go, why can't we just have that? Well, we will have that. But sometimes we got to make compromises. And just like how many people were not happy about the cast of the Super Mario Brothers movie, oh, I don't want Chris Pratt as Mario. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. You know what? The movie made $1 billion and it's going to continue making more money, but it's already at $1 billion. So at the end of the day, you need to have those celebrities to get the train going, to put the coal in the fire. That's how it works. And I don't want it. Look, here's the way I see it. Chris Hemsworth will be Orion Pax, young guy, and then movie 3, we bring in Peter Cullen. Or alternatively, we do what the Super Mario Brother movie did. They still had the original voice of Super Mario cameo in the movie. So who knows? Maybe Ironhide or Cup will be in this movie too. Look, it's a pre-Cybertron movie. We could have an old Ironhide. It's going to be a young Ironhide or a young Cup. And guess who could be playing Ironhide or Cup? Peter Cullen. Why not? Why not? The fans would love it. If he at least cameos, if he's Ironhide, he's still reprising a role that was always him, you know? So you could have Peter Cullen still be there. But when we're talking headliners, like I said, when we're talking that are going to be doing the media strip and going to all these talking heads in mainstream media, you need Thor, you need Black Widow, you need the guy from Key and Peele, and you need Morpheus from the Matrix movies. It's a reality. It's a reality, but it's going to work that way. And I feel by them giving them this advantage, that's how it's going to work. And let's pull it back to Shrek. People love Shrek today. They love the Shrek movies. They celebrate the Shrek movies, but the Shrek movies were based on that same foundation. Here's a brand that no one knows about, that has some familiarity with some of those characters, but they brought in A-list actors. Michael Myers coming off of Austin Powers, Cameron Diaz, who was coming off of what's it called there? That rom comedy there with the jizz on the guy's ear. I forget something about Mary. She was the hot ticket at the time. Eddie Murphy, always, knocking it out. Eddie Murphy doing movies all the time. I think he was just coming off of Nutty Professor at that time. So it's like, it's the same thing. And what happened with Shrek? Multi-million dollar empire of a movie, franchise, everything like that. No one gives crap to Shrek. Why? Because that wasn't a pre-existing brand where people had pre-existing notions of the voices that they should hear in their head of Fiona or Shrek or Donkey. You know? It happens. It happens. But I guarantee 2 years from now, 2025, after we've seen this movie and digest it, I want people to come back and look at this segment that we did here today. And people will understand and go, you know what? I get it now. And that's the monster of the machine. And when you understand how the monster of the machine works, that's how you succeed. It's a sad reality. I love sometimes when I talk with people in person and they'll give me some really bad take of how they should do Transformers. And instead of correcting them, I'll just say, "You're fired." And they'll be like, "What do you mean you're fired?" I'm like, "That's what they would say to you if you told them that." They'd say you're fired. Because sometimes you look, there's what we want as a fan, and then there's what works. Look, I wouldn't put Hot Rod in this movie. I love Hot Rod. He's my favorite character of all time. If someone said, "Should Hot Rod be in this movie?" I'd be like, "F no. What are you, stupid? This is an origin story." You got to take your emotions out of it. You got to take your favoritism. You got to take all of that out of it. And you got to look at it rationally and how this is going to succeed. You know, 86 movie, I love it to death, but we know why it didn't do well. Go watch that segment. I did a whole segment explaining why the 86 movie didn't work, why it wasn't successful. There's a certain science financially and socially that goes on with the movie industry. And look, sometimes they screw up, sometimes they get the wrong directors, the wrong writers, greedy people. But sometimes you get people that understand what's going on. They read the room. And right now they're reading the room. And when you read the room, you're able to leave the room with a wad of cash. And that's what they want to do in the end when it's all said and done. So that's my take on that. Hope I didn't talk too long about it. Let's see. Michael Koo, the Super Mario Brother movie, has done as well as Top Gun Maverick, Spider-Man No Way From Home, Avatar 2, and Jurassic World Dominion. Super Mario Brothers movie currently is the only movie in 2023 that has earned $1 billion. No surprise. No surprise. Everyone who hated Chris Pratt, where are you at now? And I'm not saying I like Chris Pratt or I hate him, but I'm just saying, where are you at now? You know? You got to put those emotions aside and read the room. You got to read the room, guys. You got to read the room. Getting a sip of water after all of that. But yeah, so give me your opinions. I want to know, super chat it. I want to have this discussion. You know, where's Aaron Archer? Aaron, I'd love to hear your opinion too, especially when it comes to the Rise of the Beast stuff. I'll gladly read that out loud for everybody too. But it's very important. It's very, very important to have these discussions because this is, you know, look, my podcast, the reason why I feel how different it is from all the other podcasts that are out there is we have these discussions that are way more grounded in reality than that of just a hardcore fan. And I'd like to believe that I'm a hardcore fan. I'm sorry. I'm surrounded by more Transformer toys than anyone you'll ever know. But it's something where you have to separate that too. You got to separate that and you have to have a sound mind. You could know it all, you could love it all, you could be passionate about it, but you also got to be rational. Passionate and rational, very important. But yeah, while the super chats and everything come in, Michael Koo says for Transformers 1, it's way too early for me to judge. I need to see a teaser. Of course, it's way too early. Of course. Of course, it's way too early. I mean, same thing with the Mario movie. When we got that first like teaser and they were just saying the names of the actors, I remember how much negativity there was. It was insane. It was a Nintendo Switch Live, and Miyamoto was just listing off the actors with their, that's literally their CEO's name of Nintendo now, Bowser. That's literally his last name. No joke. And everyone was just so negative. They're like, who's this? Oh, Chris Pratt. Oh, this is disgusting. Oh, this movie's going to be garbage. Why aren't they getting the original voice actors? Why aren't they getting this? Oh, this is going to be worse than the Mario 93 movie. And look what happened in the end. What? Where you at now? You know? I can't be bothered with these people. You know? People that always want something to fail. It's a very specific state of mind. Good luck with that. Tom Laney, was Duke supposed to die and then was changed because of Optimus? So yeah, in the original G.I. Joe 1986 animated movie, which is pretty darn good movie too, Duke was supposed to die. If you actually look carefully, the snake goes into his heart, and then in the next shot, they flip the animation cell, so the snake is now on the other side, so it doesn't go into his heart. And then, of course, the famous line of Scarlet saying, he's gone into a coma. And then they added at the end of the movie, Duke's okay. That was a reaction to Prime dying. You know, Optimus died. You know, classic example of the soccer moms, even back in 1986, calling in and complaining. The rest is history. Iron Archer says it's a complex set of variables to make creative commerce. You darn right, and you would know better than anyone, brother. You would know better than anyone, more so than me. um, so we're gonna get into sponsorship. I got some cool stuff I picked up this week. I actually want to also do an update on some other cool stuff too that's gonna be happening at TFCon. A lot of crazy stuff um, that we'll get into after the sponsorship. So let's get into that. So again, Toy Armada. But before Toy Armada, let's get into Symbiote Studios. The plush, the pins, and the t-shirts. Symbiote Studios needs to make another Unicron now. The plush, the pins, and the t-shirts. I am rocking the Optimus today. Freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Symbiote Studios, the official Transformer t-shirt, plush, and pin distributor in the world. SymbioteStudios.com. Go check them out. Go check out their other plushes. More to come. More to come of the movie nature. Stay tuned. It's coming. Which movie? We don't know. 86 movie? Live action movies? Animated movies? We don't know. But something's coming in 2023. Stay tuned for that. The Transformer Slag podcast. We'll reveal it then. I think I'm going to reveal it on my Twitter first, and then we'll do a video and stuff. But either way, go pick them up. SymbioteStudios.com. Their plush collection. Amazing stuff by the crew. And of course, all the other Hasbro related stuff. They have their new My Little Pony stuff that's coming off of the production line right now. They have their new Power Ranger stuff for the recent Netflix series. That's coming off of the line soon, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Magic the Gathering, G.I. Joe. If you love the Hasbro stuff, Symbiote Studios got it. Check it out, yo. And of course, Anda Seats. Good old Anda. Yo, yo. The cockpit of the Transformer Slag podcast, where I sit and make all of these podcast segments. Anda Seats with the official Transformer seats. Check out andaseats.com. And if you want a little discount, again, use promo code PROTOMAN, get 25% off your first order of your choice of any Transformer seats or any other seats. They're working on other franchises too, flavor du jour, but check them out, andaseats.com. And last but not least, the Toy Armada. Aaron's right here with us today, the creator of Transformers Armada, the mastermind behind Transformers Prime, the movie, all that stuff that you grew up with back in the day. Great segment with Aaron we did, talking about the creation of the Supercon Armada Optimus Prime. Good hour and a half segment talking about the history of the creation of that and his opinions on the recent Armada Commander Class Optimus Prime. But if you also want a little more Aaron Archer, and we all want a little more Aaron Archer in our lives, be sure to pick out the Art of Transforming Robots Volume 1, Black and White Edition. Not many copies left. Will be retired soon. But pick it up before you can't anymore. And the new volume will be available, debuting at TFCon this July, so be sure to check it out. But if you want to get Volume 1 before it sells out, archermonster.com/shop. And if you want to have a little bit of extra art put inside for an extra $15 on top of the $20 of the book, he'll do you a sketch on the inside. If you want more than a sketch, at archermonster.com/shop. He also has original art. He's selling some rare items from his collection, cool books, a lot of cool stuff. Check out his shop. Get some original art, some big, beautiful original art. One of a kind. It's not a print. You're not buying a print. You're buying original art made by him by hand. What you have is one of a kind. It's yours. Check it out. archermonster.com/shop. That's it for the sponsorship. Of course, and Hasbro, but they don't need to be told. I mean, this whole thing is a Hasbro sponsored thing. So let's get into so what I got. Let me just answer some questions quickly. Link CW. I have a serious question, Proto. I work at a gas station and want to know what companies to ask for promotional displays like Coke, Pepsi, etc. for the movie. So wait, the question is what companies to ask for promotional displays for the movie? Well, I mean, let's look at it from a logical standpoint. I mean, the average movie goer and the average person who watches, any movies, let alone Transformers, consumes Coke and Pepsi, so that would just make sense. you know? I mean, is that what you're asking, brother? I hope I'm reading the question correctly. Um, follow it up. Follow it up. So let's get into what I got this week. Not much, but some cool stuff here and there. Um, I went to Dollarama, which is kind of like a version of Family Dollar here in Canada, or Dollar Tree here in Canada. And they had a whole bunch of stuff. Like they got a whole bunch of clear out stock of like everything, of all different kinds of things. So first they had the Rescue Bot Rescue Racers of Transformers. This was $1 Canadian, so 60 cents American. So I had to pick up the RC one. Very cute. $1. $1. They had the Optimus one. The other ones weren't there. I probably would have picked up the Trailbreaker if they had that one too. But I picked up the RC for $1. Can't go wrong with that. Here's another thing. These were $5. They have these Gundam kits. $5 Canadian, $3.50 American. These Gundam kits are now on clearance there. They have a whole bunch of them. So if you're Canadian, hit your Dollarama. I didn't find the Zaku 2. I wanted to get the Char as Namble version. I love Char from Gundam, but I had to get the Amuro Ray RX-78 Gundam. I'm tempted maybe to get the Wing Zero also from Gundam Wing. Not sure yet. But there's a whole bunch of these, not just the ones that are on the cross sell on the back. They have all of them, waves 1 and 2. These were originally, if I remember correctly, these were like $15. Now they're $5 Canadian. So go check that out too. I picked this one up. Can't go wrong with that. And they also had for $1 each, and this is just me with Mario. They had the Super Mario Odyssey cap collection. These are blind bags, but they're so easy to feel which cap it is and stuff. So I picked up the whole set of those. There's Cappy and the Princess one and all of them. So I didn't crack these open yet, but I got the full set of those too. And those were $1, 60 cents each. Good stuff. I picked up a few other things too, but nothing too interesting to you guys. Yeah, there's Build-A-Figure pieces also for the traditional Zaku, but I didn't want to have to buy the whole thing in all honesty. And you know what? I have so much like traditional Zaku stuff from back in the day. And this is like a 1x144 scale for people that are wondering the size, which is about 5 inches. So I have like one of the greatest 1x144 Zaku model kits from back in the day from 08th MS Gundam for people who know what I'm talking about. And like, yeah, I'm not gonna drive myself crazy to get a complete action figure Zaku when I have a pretty good kit I built 20 years ago. Oof, 20 years ago. But yeah, check that out. Dollarama if you're Canadian. Maybe Family Dollar's picking it up too in the States, but that stuff's showing up in closeout stuff. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. They had a lot of good stuff there. It's gonna make me sound old, but when I was a kid, back in the late 80s, early 90s, when I was a kid, dollar stores always had trash. They never had it. All they had was bootleg toys. Now you get legitimate, great licensed toys by the actual companies, cheap. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Okay, Link CW, do you like excuse me, do you know if say Jack Links or Frito Lay's or Hershey's have sponsorship with Hasbro for the movie? I just want to set up the store. Oh, that I don't know. Which was one that we saw? I know that Optimus Primal was on. What was he on? So someone chime in. I'll read it out. I know that someone found, I think it was a bag of chips that he's going to be on or something. There was some promotion that we saw Primal was on. Something. I forget what it was. There was some kind of cross promotion already that people are finding. I'll get back to you on that one for sure. I'll get back to you on that when we get more info for sure. But Horndow, do you have any news or interesting that you would be able to talk about when your Rise of the Beast NDA is lifted? Look, I you know what? It's too tough because it's two things. It's number one, it's spoiler stuff, which I mean, I don't even like to talk about the comics of Transformers because there's so many people that never read them and they're very spoilery. And that's something like, James Roberts's books are, geez, what are they, 10 years old now, some of them? No, not 10. Let's say 5 to be nice. 5, 6, 7, 8. you know? And I don't like to talk about those because not everyone read it. I don't want to talk about a movie that hasn't even come out yet. I mean, look, I gave you guys, people like I told you guys about Cheetor, but the only reason why I said the Cheetor thing was when I was on the set and they had this big Cheetor cutout that they were using for like the actors to interact with. There was literally thousands of people standing on rooftops watching this movie being filmed, looking at the same thing I was. The only difference is I was a guy in the Transformer fandom that knew what that cheetah on a stick was. It's like, wait a minute, why is there a cheetah on a stick? Oh, Optimus Primal's here. Guess, why is there a bird on a stick there? Huh? You know, they didn't have a Rhino one, so Rhinox, I guess, wasn't. There's other stuff though. I just don't want to get into it. It's NDA and it's spoilers. It's just not fair to people. It's something where trust me, there is a big twist in the movie, and it's pretty awesome. That's all I'm gonna say. I will talk about it later. Like let me show you guys something. I always keep this nearby. This was an NDA that Hasbro gave me. When was this? 2014. Okay, 2014. The embargo for Age of Extinction. See here. By the way, guys, this is what a real advanced toy uh thing. When you have those guys who have the stolen toys, which they are stolen, ask them to show you this if they're legit or not. Okay? All reviews based on these figures, all information can blah, 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 blah. Embargo must be done past this date. This is and I saved this from Hasbro because they would send me these. Hey, we're sending you stuff. Could you not talk about it till then? Blah blah blah. Legit. I have three different ones. That's the one that's just near me. You know, look, you got to play game. You know, you got to play game. I want to be respectful to people too. It's a whole different situation when it comes to NDAs and stuff. You got to be respectful with that. That's the business side of it. Look, there's stuff I'm working on right now. Like, look, anyone who's familiar, like I work on the Transformer deck building game. I helped develop that. There's so much stuff going on with that with Renegade Games for the next year and a half. I don't like talking about it publicly because it's stuff that I'm working on and I respect the guys that we work with together and I don't want to spoil. I'm going to leave that to the media to talk about it. When it's public, then I will gladly talk about it, talk about development and all the fun stuff that was going on. But until it is public, sorry guys, that's just the name of the game. Ron Diaz with the super chat question: Transformers universe is expansive enough to have a movie listing like the movie listings like the MCU, Prime solo movie, Combiners movie, Cybertron based movie. Of course. Are you kidding me? There is just as many Transformer characters, you know, as there is. Like, let's go all the way to the movie wall. Geez. 14 feet of movie toys. You know, there is just as much characters and stories to be told just based on 84, 85, 86 characters. 84, 85, 86 is 120 toys, 120 characters. God forbid we go into Micromasters, Minicons, Omnicons, Terracons, you know. Let's go up against the Lego movies, do a Creo movie. You know, it is such an untapped potential that unfortunately was squandered by Hollywood not understanding how to tell a story. Someone said it the best to me many years ago. And he said, "You want to know why Hollywood doesn't respect the Transformer characters?" And it's so true in its silliness when he said it to me. He said whenever they're in their alt modes, whenever it's uh Bumblebee in his alt mode, Barricade, Optimus, whoever, they never talk. They only talk when they're in robot mode. So when they're in their alt modes, they might as well just be movie props. They're not characters. And it was true because then when he said that, I took a step back and I'm like, damn, he's right. Like, did Optimus ever talk in his alt mode, in his truck mode? Did Barricade ever talk in his police car mode? Like, it's something it is true. It's very true. They're literally when they're in their cars, they're props. They're just movie props. And when we watch an Avengers movie, it says the Avengers on the title, but all the main characters are the Avengers. All the characters that talk on the screen are the Avengers. It's not like it's the story of the Avengers and it's the story of all the background human characters. You know, it's the story of the Avengers. When we watch an Iron Man movie, when we watch a Justice League movie, when we watch a Super Mario movie, it's not the story of the Toad people. It's the story of Super Mario and the brothers. But Transformers, it's like we got that flipped upside down. It's like it's the name of the brand, but it's not going to be the characters we're going to talk about. And that's the mistake that they made. And hopefully, with these animated movies, they're going to flip that around. And please, if you make these animated movies, keep the human element to a minimum. We've had enough of it. Stop with it. We're done. That's not what people want. People show up for what's on the title. I understand that you made zillions of dollars tricking people into theaters every single time because the trailers show us those characters. You think the trailers, think about it this way. How much of the go back and watch the original teaser trailer and main trailer for Revenge of the Fallen or Dark of the Moon or Age of Extinction or The Last Night. How much of the percentage of that trailer is the robots and how much of the percentage of that trailer is the humans? And then go to the movie and see how much it is the other way around. In the trailers, it's 90% robots, 10% humans. In the movie, it's 90% movies, 10% robots. They trick you into the theater every time. And that's the trick. Is get them into the theater, buy that ticket. If the movie's crap, doesn't matter. You already did that ticket sale. Avatar is living proof of that. Avatar is living proof that you don't have to be a good movie to make $1 billion. Just trick them into the theater. That's all you got to do. James Cameron, 3D. Ooh, big talk. Get them in the theater. Trick them. Blue people. Blue cat people. That's the secret. Where are we at here? Ashnud, wishing you were helping with the RPG. They could use an expert. I was not allowed to be on that. I am not going to get into the drama with that. The one who is in charge of the RPG had a very specific regulation of who was allowed to help her with that. I'm a little too abrasive and not part of her world, if you know what I mean. Let's put it that way. That's all I'm going to say. Um, they sent me a book, you know, they sent me a book, but I'm not involved with the RPG. I apologize for that. Um, Michael Koo to Hasbro with the Mattel venture. How about we get a TF Mutu animated movie? Well, let's first get Masters of the Universe on the right track. I mean, unfortunately, what was it? The Eternia show is going to be canceled, from what I heard. Didn't do well in toy sales and ratings. Tough brand. Tough brand. You want to keep He-Man alive, you got to cross it over with stuff and then do vintage reissue stuff. The vintage reissue stuff seems to be doing pretty well, like the vintage toys getting reissued. Those, like the Sunman stuff that they did too. That seems to be selling not bad, but anything that's like, I guess we'll call it like Neo He-Man stuff, not so much, unfortunately. Although I'd really like to track down that Roboto, the new version from the Netflix series. I'd like to track down that Roboto figure. I've yet to see it in retail. I've seen like every other figure. Someone keeps beating me to it, I guess. Maybe it's just Toys R Us doesn't have enough inventory. Tom Laney, since Unicron is in the movie, think we could get a new toy or retool repaint of the Armada Unicron toy. Wouldn't you like a new Unicron toy based off of the new design from the movie? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That's all I'm going to say. Ron Diaz, I'd like to see a future in where Hasbro releases straight up streams or DVDs, movies following the events of the TV shows. Well, that's something. Look, Hasbro has a very good relationship with Paramount. Paramount Plus obviously is always looking for original content. Paramount Plus has all that original content with South Park. Although I think they recently got rid of that contract. Someone would have to correct me on that. But they're looking for original content. Let's say this movie does really well. Let's say this animated movie does really well. I'm pretty sure when they're done with their Netflix contract, maybe they could work something out with Paramount Plus and get original content. Make some brand new stuff, side stories, little 15-minute things. Anything would be cool at this point. As long as it's given to the right writers. Like the Netflix stuff, I apologize if you enjoyed the Netflix stuff. I think those were done poorly. I think they were done on a shoestring budget and were not given to good audio editors, good writers. There was a lot of problems there. There was a lot of problems there. You know, it's I don't want to knock them too much because I'm pretty sure their hearts were in the right place, but the final product really wasn't that great. And that's why no one talks about it today and why they didn't continue doing it for Legacy and Legacy Evolution. Link CW, my boss lets me run the store more or less. I'm curious for an opinion for a gas station. I was going to set it up like the collector's corner and set up and sell my collection. Well, are you a licensed gas station like an Esso or a Shell, or are you just an independent gas station? That's very interesting that you're turning it into also a toy store in a lot of ways. Michael Koo, both vintage and Masterverse MCU line. Just what's Masterverse? Masterverse is the ones that Roboto is from. The one that's the new design. It's kind of like a 6-inch figure. Is that the one I'm trying to hunt down? I forget what the name of it is. Put an arcade in there. Retro Cabal. I recently. Oh, do I have my wallet on me? I don't have it on me. It's upstairs. I recently went to. They opened up an arcade in my area. Finally, I went to one recently, but it works on a card system. Good stuff. I love going to arcades. I'm such an old man. Michael Koo, biggest problem with Netflix, MTU, they didn't have the rights to the Filmation series, so nothing could be used from the original cartoon. There's a lot of problems with that. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff I don't want to talk about because I know the individuals that worked with it. And yeah, that's a whole other story, that one. But cool toys, cool toys. At the end of the day, if the fiction sucks, but you get some cool toys, I mean, works for me. Season 3 of G1 wasn't that great, but there were some cool toys. So, tell me your favorite Triptychon moment. Not many, but a cool toy. So sometimes that's all that matters. Masterverse is 7-inch. There you go. So it is those ones. I like those. They look nice. And I'm not a big He-Man guy. There are versions of Roboto in Masters and Origins. So, like, what do I have? So I have, because again, I apologize. I'm not a big He-Man guy, but there is certain figures I really like. And I love Roboto just as like because I'm like, let me just show you guys. I'm like really big into like, here, like I'm into like big into like vintage robots. Like this is like a Tommy robot and this is like, I love like old school 1950s Robbie the robot, Forbidden Planet. I love robots and Roboto speaks to me because he has like those old school gears in his chest and everything. And as a kid, I liked that episode that he was in the original Filmation show. He was only in, I think, one episode. He was in way more in the Netflix series, which was a change for once. But it's something where, like, I love that design. So, but I'm not too familiar with what's out there. I have the original Roboto, the original toy from back in the day. I have the one it's kind of based on the original, but it has more articulation, like that reissue line, but not really reissues. And that's all I got. I just got those two. You know, anything else I'd love to track down of Roboto. I think he's such a cool. He's so like the kind of aesthetic I like. I like that old robot kind of aesthetic. My dad many years ago he got me a old like art book of like the tin of like vintage robots from like the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. I love that book, and it's that kind of aesthetic, like I showed you guys, of that kind of design, kind of like like RoboForce. Yeah, John, that's a good example. RoboForce, or Rob the Robot from the Nintendo Entertainment System. Like I love that kind of design. So I don't know. I don't know if it's cute or I dig it. I don't know. I dig that stuff. I love robots. My name's Proto Man. That's a robot from Mega Man. Transformers. I love robots. Love robots. It's probably the mechanic in me or something. I don't know. Just love the idea. Michael Koo, He-Man live action movie sucked. It was okay. It's one of those bad movies that are just kind of fun to watch. Maybe because I like Dolph Lundgren. I don't know. Maybe that because I love the Rocky movies. So it's kind of hard to hate on Dolph. Ron Diaz, legacy animated jazz can be retooled into a Triggerbot override. That would be cool. That would be cool. Triggerbot override, the last time he got a toy was the Transformers Adventures line, which is what RID 2015 is in Japan. There was a repaint of Groove, the Combiner Wars one, into the Legend scale, into Override. So it'd be nice to get an update of that character. Link CW, love your track jacket, Proto. I have the Decepticon version, lost it, it was stolen. I have the Decepticon one too, but it's the one that has like Megatron, G1 Megatron's chest, so it has like the squiggly lines, the toy. It has the Decepticon logo, and then it has Megatron on the back. What's cool about this one, you can barely see it. It's actually glow in the dark. So when you turn off the lights, it's a Decepticon emblem. So it's pretty cool. And then it has the 86 movie on the back because the 86 movie is the greatest thing ever. Um, do you know Zeroids? I'm assuming you mean Zoids. And yes, I do know Zoids, but I don't know Zeroids. No, but I know Zoids. I have tons of Zoids. I love Zoids. Aaron Archer says, as a toy line, He-Man has great play features. As a toy line, He-Man is, you know, I just want to give a shout out to Aaron. Aaron did a great segment just yesterday about repaints and making money with repaints and the whole concept of repaints. And heavily, after you're done talking with me today, people, go check out Aaron's segment on the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer in the live tab. It's his latest segment. It's about redecos and repaints. And He-Man, man, like think about it. You have those two body types. You got sorcerer body type, and then you got barbarian body type. And then they just put new head sculpts, new, like I guess we'll call them vests, but like vest accessories and new weapons. And then they just made 100 figures. Like talk about Mattel just making tons of money. Between that and what they used to do with Hot Wheels, where they just use the same die-cast molds over and over in different kind of variations or repaints, He-Man was some fun stuff. I wasn't big into it as a kid just because there were so many other toy lines I was distracted with. I was a big Nintendo kid, but then I loved, Ninja Turtles and I loved Transformers. So just between Nintendo, Transformers, and 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 uh Nintendo, Transformers, and Ninja Turtles, the late 80s was already busy for me. But early 80s with my Atari 2600, late 80s with my Nintendo. By the time you get to the 90s and the 90s action figure boom, Toy Biz's X-Men, Kenner's is Batman, again, Ninja Turtles still kind of lingering. 93 comes around, here comes Power Rangers. Transformers G2 was still getting my money because I still love Transformers. A little bit of Micro Machines in there. Star Wars, get the odd Star Wars figure. There was so much. Street Sharks I had to get. I had to get Ripster. I still have my Ripster Minton box. You know, I mean, it's too much distractions. He-Man just didn't fit in there. But years later, go back to appreciate it. Hindsight. What was another thing that I went back years later and learned to appreciate? Like He-Man was one of them. What was another one? That's another one that I kind of like missed out, and then kind of went back. There's a few. The weird one, Stone Protectors, the troll doll ones, kind of like revisited that a bit. Sheriff Latif with the super chat. Hi, Proto. I am wondering if you could discuss the assembly of your display cases a bit. Looking to build something. Also, it's Sharif Latif. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm bad with pronouncing names. You should see my last name. My last name is a disaster. Try pronouncing my name. Yeah, I've talked about it a few times. So essentially what it is man, we're getting a lot of super chats today. Essentially what it is they're very simple. uh Let me just explain a little bit here. So when I first bought this house, this was a closet, right? These are closets. They're like, think how deep a closet is. A closet is 3 to 4 feet deep, right? So these were closets that had sliding doors on them, right? They had sliding doors. So the idea is we'll replace the sliding doors, which were like, they were mirrors, because it's a closet for clothing. So the sliding doors were mirrors. We replaced the sliding doors, and this is not glass, by the way. This is plexiglass. The good thing with plexiglass is attracted to dust. So the dust won't go on your toys, but it'll go on the plexiglass. So what's good is then you just wipe it off. So it's a dust retainer. It gets rid of the dust pretty much. It's cheaper than glass. Forget about it, how expensive glass is to have to buy a piece of glass this big. It's not as dangerous. So if you lean on it, you know what I mean? It bends a little bit, but you're not going to like crack glass and then you're screwed. And these are railings. Here, let me just show you. These are just railings that you could buy from like a Lowe's, or I don't know what your local Home Depot construction American version is, but we have Home Depot and we have a few others. You know, you buy these you buy the railings, top and bottom, you buy the frame for it, you buy plexiglass that fits that frame, and you could literally go to them and go, "Could you cut it to match this?" And they'll do it for you. It's a little expensive, but you know, it's no cheaper than how much they're asking for DTOFs right now. What are they at? $125 DTOFs for a piece. I hate DTOFs. Oh God. I understand that, you know, for the middle of the room it's fine, but if you have a wall, you're better off making your own shelving than using a DTOF that's not manageable. And then afterwards, it's kind of hard to see. I wish I could show it better, but you could barely see it. But I mean, you could kind of see it there. I get railings that you buy from IKEA, and then you just put those wedges in them. You see that wedge there, and you just buy the railings, and then you put them at how you want them. Like, oh hey, Aaron Archer's Unicron is the tallest thing, so that's how tall the display is going to be. Hey, Aaron Archer's, you know, King Starscream is that tall, so that's how tall the display is going to be with Primus. Oh hey, there's the original Armada Unicron. That's how tall that display is going to be. So you could actually, you know, make it variable to match what you need to do, and you don't waste space. You know, that's which to me, don't waste space. This is a hobby that has tons of toys and more to come. Don't waste space. Do never waste space. I hope that helps a little bit. If you want to follow up on that, you're welcome to contact me and I could take better photos or something. Michael Koo with the $5 super chat. Can new TF toys have die cast like retro G1 line, or are transformations too complex and too stressful with die cast toys? I think Hasbro learned a lot from both the Japanese release of alternators, aka Vinyl Tech. You can't see it off there, but alternators. There's the big alternator display, and right there, titaniums. I think they learned a lot from both of those in the sense that, yeah, you could use die-cast. It's more expensive, but there's limitations to the stress of the transformation. I forget who said it. It wasn't Aaron Archer. I remember someone said it to me. He said it's like connecting two cinder blocks with Kleenex. Meaning, like, if you have a die-cast forearm and you have a die-cast chest, but the connection is plastic, man, you're asking for trouble in the long run if it's a complex transformation. And we see that a little bit already with some of the masterpieces, because some of the late, like, what was it called there? The Masterpiece Hound. There was a lot of problems. He had little die cast parts, he had little plastic parts, and people were breaking them. And when you're spending a lot of money on a masterpiece, you shouldn't be breaking them. You know, that shouldn't be happening. So I think it's the limitations of a design standpoint, cost, because diecast is more expensive. And I mean, I think people rather have just like, you know, would you rather a much more complex, you know, kind of toy that's all plastic, you know, PVC, ABS, POM, or have diecast components, but then it has to be a little more simplistic, like let's say a titanium's, and it cuts into the budget because now you don't have as many parts and pieces. So Uh, that's something you have to keep in mind too. It's just it's and there's chipping because you have to paint the die cast. Die cast is not like plastic that you could pour it in a color. Usually die cast pours as die cast and then you got to paint over it. And then if it's something that rubs against and you know and transforms every time, you know, it's the paint chips, and we saw that with the old alternator toys because alternator toys were very complex and there was like chipping of the corners and stuff. So there's a lot of problems. You know what? And people need to remember G1 had diecast for its first 2 years, and then limited diecast pieces here and there with year 3 and 4. They avoid diecast because they realized in the end it's probably not the best way to go. You know, like where's your diecast in like you know 87, 88, 89, 90, 91 outside of little pieces here and there? Okay, Metal Hawk. had die cast on his chest in Japan, but in general, they avoided it. But thank you for the super chat, Michael Koo. Probably Brave Star. No, wasn't that big on Brave Star. Wasn't that big on Brave Star. Silverhawks is cool though. When Super 7 did those Silverhawks toys, man, I was so tempted to pick those up. I didn't in the end, but man, I was like this close. Mayoral Fabrication with the $2 super chat. There is a Hot Wheels. There is a Hot Wheel. Can we see into a Transformer? There's tons of Hot Wheels that already are Transformers. Are you kidding me? The Volkswagen Baja has been done in yellow a ton of times. I'm pretty sure every single official licensed car that exists as a Transformer, whether it be the old Datsuns of the Prowl crew, the old Lambos of the Sideswipe crew, and so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure there probably is a perfect 1/64 scale Hot Wheel of all of them. So technically, some Transformer Hot Wheels do already exist. It's just that you'd have to probably track them down. You know, not all of them. I'm pretty sure the Lancia Wheeljack, maybe that one's a little bit of a deep cut to have the exact licensing on it of Lancia with the old rally days for Wheeljack. And of course, all obviously 86 characters. It's out of the question. Let's see, maybe there's a Dome Zero Hot Rod. Dome Zero in red. Look up Dome Zero. That's what Hot Rod was based on from Fluoro Deary. Actually, I want to talk about that too with Fluoro, but maybe I'll talk about that another time. Aaron addressed Fluoro quickly. You're in Canada too. Well, that works out. So go to Home Depot. Where are we at here? Thank you, Proto. I'm trying to build a big loft area. It's really spacious, but has some angled walls. So angled walls, same story, brother. Same story. If you have an angled wall like a corner, get those rails from IKEA, like my rails there, like you can see it right there. Get 2 rails, literally top to bottom from the ground up, 2 rails. Get the wedges. Maybe get the wedges after when you know how many you need. Plexi, cut the plexi perfectly. Boom. It's super easy. And when you really look at how much it costs you, like surface area and really like how much you're going to be able to fit, a DTOF for $125 that isn't variable. Like I have my DTOF here. You could barely, the Optimus is in the way, but I have my DTOF here that holds like my Gyro Zetter stuff and some, waifu figures here and there. And like, I look at it and I go, geez, like look how much space it wastes, but I don't have a choice. And yeah, there's the trick. You could plexiglass, cut some shelving and stuff, and I do that. But I mean, at the end of the day, for $125, and I bought these DTOFs when they were cheap, you know. But today at 125, you're better off taking that money and $125 gets you a plexiglass wall like this. Like this one piece is probably 125, but I mean, look at it. It's like 7 foot of Transformers, even more than 7 foot. Like my Kiss Play stuff up there, that's got to be like all the way at the 8 foot mark. I can't even reach that stuff. It's that high up. Like here, let me stand up for a second. You know, Ugh, can't even reach it. Can't even reach it. It's all the way over there. You know. So there goes Rodimus. Knocked him over. Anyways, sacrilege. Where are we at? Where are we at? Titaniums fell apart so easy. Well, there you go. Oh, especially the Megatron one. I remember that first titanium Megatron, the one that's based off of the GI Joe tank. What a piece of trash some of those were. Great designs though. No offense to Don Figueroa who worked on them. Some of them were really good. I like the Fallen. The Fallen one was good. The Tetrajets weren't too bad. The Grimlock wasn't too bad. The Optimus, the Cheetor was really good. Some of them are good, but some of them are pretty rough. Proto, are you getting the Jada Street Fighter toys? I did see them. Um, I'm getting the Jada Mega Man ones. Those for sure I'm getting. I really liked, there was a company that did the Street Fighter toys called Storm Collectibles, and they're doing a lot of others. They do the Mortal Kombat ones. They do the King of Fighters ones. I want them to continue doing the Street Fighter ones just from a consistency. The thing with Jada's Street Fighter toys is when you're talking something like Street Fighter that has like all these different moves and stuff, you need to have a lot of different interchangeable hands and faces. And because it's a retail line and it's not like a high-end Japanese kind of like SH Figure Arts kind of thing, it's kind of lost on me. Like Street Fight, like there was Play Arts Kai. They did the Street Fighter stuff at one point, and those were amazing. Like the Sakura, the Chung Li. I think those came out during Street Fighter 4, if I remember correctly. Like I want something of that level. Like if I'm getting Street Fighter figures and I'm going to build a display of it, I need something that has that diversity of hands and accessories and stuff. And Jada just unfortunately, because they're limited by what they could put in a retail bubble, um, doesn't meet what I need. I mean, it's I imagine the Jada toys are probably really good, but I need more from my Street Fighter toys. I can't just have like my Street Fighter GI Joes that are just kind of you just here it is and this is what you got. Um, so yeah, I hope that answers that a little bit. But I'm gonna get the Mega Man ones for sure because I need more Mega Man toys. There's just not enough. And it looks like they're really going to be dedicated to making a good line of Mega Man toys. Sarah with the super chat. I'm back. I'm back. Sorry, I missed the live stream of Aaron was with the big red dragon. You got to check out Aaron's live streams too. They're very good, very informative. Not just mine. Um, Link CW Proto. What is the CPL of your Holy Grail choices? What's CPL? I don't know what CPL is. What is the CPL of your Holy Grail choices? Just wondering. Tell me what CPL is. Sorry, I don't know what CPL is. Ashnode, answer. Just post again. I'll answer it. Ashnode, I have so many of those. Which ones do you have a lot of? These guys. Media Max. I'm not interested in Rise of the Beast at all, but Unicron, I'm in. Well, there you go. Not interested in Rise of the Beast, but Unicron gets him in. That goes back to what I was saying just before. If he doesn't like the beasts, the Chaos Bringer will definitely bring him in. We got a gold super chat from Damian Winford. Thank you, Damian, for the gold super chat. Is the Legacy Evolution, not Revolution, Revolution, Legacy Evolution, Transmetal 2 Megatron a good figure because I'm debating getting him? I heavily suggest, Damien, you go check out the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. It's a separate YouTube channel that I do with Aaron. He did a live segment talking about he designed the original Red Dragon and he has the new one. And he's talking about comparing the two and how great it is. So I heavily suggest going checking that out. I do not have the new Red Dragon Megatron yet, but it looks really good. But the guy who designed the original says it's good. So, and Aaron's probably somewhere in the chat right now who could tell you that. But go check out his segment, Toy Armada at Aaron Archer. It's in the live tab. He talks about the Transmetal 2 Megatron. He worked on the original. He talks about that. Then he talks about the new one because he has the new one in hand so he could give his opinion. So I hope that helps. Hope that gives you all the info you need, brother. Where are we going? Where are we going? So Link CW wanted to know what is a couple? Oh, a couple. That's what it stands for. What is a couple of? So then let's go back to your question. I have to scroll back up. I apologize. So, what is a couple of your Holy Grail choices? Just wondering. Not many Holy Grails left anymore because, I mean, I have everything. I don't want to sound mean. I mean, there's new toys that I don't have, but I wouldn't call them Holy Grails. Holy Grails to me were like, weird stuff, animation cells, like, uh, prototypes and stuff. I love owning prototype stuff just because of the history elements of them. There's not many Holy Grails left for me. I mean, what am I hunting for? What would I like to get? I don't know. Not too long ago, one of my Holy Grails I got over COVID because a guy who had a huge collection because he lost his job and because of COVID and stuff, he was getting rid of his collection. Um, and I managed to get that. It was from Knight Rider. It's the giant pedal car. I managed to pick that up. I had that as a child. My parents unfortunately got rid of it because it was too big. It was taking a lot of space in our house, and they thought, "Oh, he's not going to want this pedal car. He can't fit in anymore." Um, but I wanted to track down my old childhood toys, and that's one of the few toys I didn't have, so I got that. I don't know. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I mean, there's like, what's left? What's left that I don't have? Maybe a few like GoBots that I'm missing of the original line. a few of the Machine Robo equivalencies. There's not much. There really isn't. And the only stuff I'm missing in my collection is new stuff. Like name something made in Kingdom, Legacy, Evolution. A lot of that stuff I don't have, but I pick up here, this and that, but a lot of stuff I don't got. But old stuff, not much. Not much. Like Scott here says, Metal Hawk, you know, he's oh, you could barely see him. He's right there. He's right there, Metal Hawk. Like those guys I got. I was lucky. I got those. My dad gave me a piece of advice many years ago. Many, many, many years ago. He says when you collect in a hobby, always collect backwards. Meaning that, it's very easy to buy all the cheapy new items and stuff, but you should really take that money and focus on the expensive items first. Because as time progresses, those items become fewer and fewer and become more difficult to get. So back when I was hardcore back into collecting Transformers during the Beast Wars era, early days of YouTube, I was picking up Star Saber. I was picking up Metal Hawk, and Star Saber was $150 boxed. Metal Hawk was, geez, I think I picked them up for like $95 boxed. Because back then I was picking up those guys while everyone else was going out and buying the latest Robots in Disguise Fire Convoy, or spending $100 on that, importing Fire Convoy for $100. I'm buying Star Saber for $100. Well, 150, but so I was lucky to get a lot of that stuff very early. Very, very early. Few things I got later and I'd like to upgrade. Like I'd love to upgrade my Dino King. Not a fan of the condition it's in, but when I bought it back then, that's what the condition it was in. So Sarah, one for one office, one for my home, and one for my parents, and one for my girlfriend's home. 19 for storage. What am I missing here? Oh, you're talking about the buying the red dragon. You have one everywhere in your house. Got to have one in every room. Then you have to have it. You have to have a drawing by Aaron Archer of the red dragon because he designed it. Go to archermonster.com. Plug. Go get from the man who made it. Lizard Sphere X, any holy grails of mine is things I can't afford. Anyone can afford anything, my friend, as long as you put the time, effort, and savings into it. If a person says they can't afford something, but then turns around and spends $100 on Legacy Evolution product, that's why you can't afford it. Focus your money. That's always how it is. Nothing is unable to get. I was able to get HasLab Unicron. The the Star Saber was sent to me. That's kind of a different story. But HasLab Unicron, that's a different story. Like, you're able to afford anything as long as you focus your money. If you're smart with your money, you could achieve anything. Michael Koo, if Hasbro is putting out a Rise of the Beast Unicron toy, will Hasbro delay the Titan class Nemesis until 2024 to help out with our budgets? No, because what they could do is the Titan class Nemesis, if history has proved itself, will probably come out in, let's say, July, August. And then we will see the Transformers movie in July, August, September, October. Boom, you could have it in December, have it be a Christmas item. Think about it this way. When Rise of the Beast came out, we didn't get that giant Devastator right away. I guess we could call it a Supreme class. Yeah, it was called a Supreme class. We didn't get that giant Devastator right away. That came, I think, much later for the holiday season. So it's something where there's time. There's time. The Twins Corner says, you're still missing Galaxy Force Vector Prime. Are you referring to the yellow version? I have that one. I have both, unless you're referring to Japanese version Galaxy Force Vector Prime. I don't have that, the gray one, because he had more of a gray tone. Most of the Galaxy Force stuff, I don't have most of the Cybertron stuff, might as well turn here. And you can't see anything because of I don't have the Galaxy Force equivalencies. Override, I have the Nitro Convoy equivalency. Wing Saber, I have the Sonic Bomber equivalency. I believe I have a Japanese version of something. Oh, Primus, because he came in a fancy box. Little things here and there. But most of them because they're very similar. Vector Prime, yeah, he does have a difference. It's more of a darker gray, and they painted in his Cybertron key. So it's enough of a difference to justify. Oh, I have some of the DVD exclusive guys too, you know, those also, but yeah, I don't have everything, but I'd have to say about if everything that exists of Transformers, I got about 90% of it. As sad as that sounds. As sad as that sounds. Um, let's see. Link CW says I kind of stopped buying G1 with War for Cybertron and Legacy. Well, there you go, and that's where your money's going into. There's always a way to afford anything, my friends. 1 week of pay, if you focus the money properly, could buy you pretty much any. If you got a single paycheck, let's say you work Monday to Friday, you focus your expenses and stuff. A single paycheck could get you pretty much 99% of all Transformers that exist. And then you fall into the weird stuff that are $1,000. Then you need 2 paychecks, 3 paychecks. But you know, so it's all about focusing your money. Trust me, I was there. I was there buying every Energon toy as it came out, looking at that bill and going, "Woo! Did I just spend $300 in one sitting?" And then complaining how I don't have this BotCon exclusive. So MediaMax, now that Rise of the Beast doesn't seem to have a good reason to introduce and keep around humans, but Exosuit, that's enough. Well, that's one way to make the humans involved, and so they're not just people on the side. Optimus, help me, Optimus. Put him in an exosuit. Now at least he's doing something. Sarah, my holy grail is Bakon Strika, and I need it, but the eBay prices are a little crazy. What does a Bakon Strika go for right now? I'm curious. That was part of a box set, so people are just now just making money breaking them up, I guess. Sharif says, I want to see this collection. Which collection? This collection? This collection is too big a collection. Too big. There's a video online on YouTube. It's a little dated. It's from 2014, 2015. Proto Man's collection, Proto Man's Transformer collection. It's a tour because I did a reality show called Geek Me where they went around Canada. It was on Netflix, but I don't think it's on Netflix anymore. But they went around Canada and they were interviewing like the biggest collectors of each hobby, and it was cool. It's like they went to like the biggest Star Trek collector in Canada, and it's a female, and her freaking collection is amazing. Like she has a section of her house that's like a replica of a scene from the show. Like she lives not too far away from me. I was surprised. The biggest Star Trek collector, the biggest He-Man collector, the biggest DC toy collector, the biggest Kiss collector. It was Kiss the band, biggest Ninja Turtle collector, and what was the other one? Ghostbusters. There was a Ghostbusters person too. Really cool show. I don't know if all the episodes are on streaming services anymore. I was episode 6 with the Kiss guy, with the guy who collects Kiss stuff. And yeah, you get to see my collection and talk about Transformers. And it's a nice HD footage, like they go around the room and we talk about stuff. We talk about the hobby. Horndow, a couple of G1s, a complete G1 Skull Grin is my holy grail. Well, that's not a tough one to get. That's not a tough one. If your holy grail is Skull Grin, $150 will get you that. That's not too far away. Where are we at here? Where are we at? Oh, they're talking about the Pinkertons and what happened with Hasbro. Well, let's just say trouble's coming for a certain someone. They're finally cracking down. It took a couple of years, but that's a whole other story. I don't want to get too much into that because there's a little legal stuff going on. So stay tuned on that one. Andy Davis, can your knowledge of the industry help us figure out why Hasbro Power Rangers aren't doing as well as TFs? I feel like the opportunity is there. Look,
must be stopped.
Hardcore fans, while they make up a significant percentage of sales, you need to have mainstream fans too. Transformers has movies, has television, but it also has a fun play element that even people who don't engage in the media, they enjoy the toys because it's a puzzle element. Sometimes you don't even have to know who this character is or watch those G1 episodes or watch, Hoist Goes to Hollywood or something or what was the other one that had Grapple in it? City of Steel, not City of Steel, Crystal City. season 2 episode. Um, like you don't need to know those characters to enjoy the product because you have the puzzle element, you have the car element, you have the truck element. Power Ranger toys are very reliant on two things. Number one, if you look at a lot of the Power Ranger product that's out there, it's nostalgia. It's old series. Hey, we're doing this version of the Thunder Megazord from 1995. Hey, we're doing this, we're doing that. Hey, the Lightning collection, that's our version of the collector line. It's all based off of this old stuff. None of it is based on current stuff. So you right away lose a younger audience that they watch TV and they want to engage with what they're seeing on the television. They don't care about, hey, who's this Dino Megazord? Like that's not what they watched. And I guess let's be real, if you're not like a guy who's like really likes the Godzilla, Ultraman kind of suit stuff, a lot of kids also aren't looking back at the old Power Ranger stuff and taking it seriously. Suspension of disbelief with older animation is a lot more common. People could watch old G1 episodes or Beast Wars episodes and still enjoy it. But there is a section of kids that when they're going to look at old Power Ranger stuff and they're going to be like, I mean, I like it. I love Ultraman, so I'm like, and Godzilla, so I'm built for that. But some kids might look at it and go, "Ooh, these robots in suits," like they might not like it. They might think it's cheesy. They might not like that Rita Repulsa as a dubbed over Japanese voice. They might think that looks kind of corny. So you need to have those 3 decades of audiences, 90s kids, 2000s kids, and current kids, engaging with the media. And the current kids are the mainstream. So there's a lot of fractures there. Power Rangers survives based on its nostalgia. Again, go to the toy aisle, look at all the Power Ranger stuff. Tell me what of all that Power Ranger stuff you're being shown is current stuff. And yeah, you could argue, well, there's Dinozord stuff and there's that new Netflix thing. I get it. Yeah, that one's fine. But I'm saying everything else, you know? Like there's not much of the current stuff as product there. And that hurts it. Sarah, and now any legacy figures reach Mexico again. Only figures from the movies are in stores, or the only way we could get legacy figures through Amazon and AliExpress. Look, Canada for the longest time had it difficult too. You have to sometimes find your opportunities. It's tough. I feel for you, especially when you live in Quebec, Canada, where you have language laws and exclusives can't come out here too. That's a whole other animal. Michael Koo says BotCon 2013's Machine Wars complete set is $375. Oh, that's not too bad. That's pretty much so. So a complete BotCon box set from 2013 is cheaper than what I paid for it brand new with my BotCon admission. Like I think the Primus package at BotCon in 2013 back then probably was $400, probably, or $375. You know, so I mean that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. So if you get the whole box set for that and then you break it up, shouldn't be too bad. You can get your Striker. Damien with the gold super chat again. Thank you, Damien. Hey, Proto, will they make a Supreme Class Unicron for the Rise of the Beast movie? 2 on the nose, Damien. We got to wait for that. You're asking quite the question. Stay tuned. Let's put it that way. Stay tuned. I can't answer a yes, no on that. Stay tuned. But just keep an eye out for it. Unicron's a big part of the future. That's all I'm gonna say. Andy Davis, great response. Thank you. No problem, Andy. No problem, man. You know what it is, guys? It's always about kind of just looking at it rationally and when I go I go to the toy aisle of Toys R Us and Walmart every single weekend. And I walk away empty. Like, look, I show you guys what I buy. You know, I didn't buy any. Like, I walked by the Transformer aisle to, oh, this is the Disney minifig 100 box just because I needed a box to hold all the stuff in. Um, like I walk by the toy aisle all the time, and sometimes it's not to buy anything. Sometimes it's just to see, oh, what's moving, what's here, what's shelf warming. It's not just the Transformers. I go by the G.I. Joe section. I go by the Marvel section. I go by the Funko section and see how that's surviving. I pay attention to all that stuff because it helps you get a broader idea of what's going on with the industry right now. From a toy standpoint, from an overall business standpoint with retail to begin with. And you gotta kind of like take the time when you go there. Yeah, you're hunting for your toys, but also go, like, what are the GI Joe toys that are shelf warming? And it kind of gives you an idea of what is popular, what sells, what doesn't sell, and it gives you an idea of the bigger picture of things. I don't want to get too much into the weeds of it because there's a lot to discuss when it comes to what is popular and what isn't with mainstream audiences from brand to brand. But, you know, that's a whole discussion in itself. Michael Koo with the $5 super chat. If Rise of the Beast Unicrons becomes very popular with a general audience, will Symbiote Studios reissue their Unicron? Those discussions were had. Maybe not reissuing, but those discussions were had. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Sorry, Joseph. Paul, did Funko Unicron renew the trademark? Yeah, Funko stuff would be part of renewing a trademark. Yeah. Anything that's licensing, as long as it uses the name and it has the trademark next to it, which it does, I would imagine. I can't imagine they would. I got one sent to me in the mail. I'd have to check. I still have it boxed. It's actually near my storage because I'm not wasting the space. I should probably open it up maybe one day. I never opened it. I left it sealed. Yeah, I'd renewed the trademark. So, but they'll still use it. They'll put a Unicron out if they need to. If it topically makes sense, you put out a Soundwave every single time or a Starscream. You don't have to wait for it. Oh, it's been 4 years, got to do a Starscream. No, they'll do it if it sells. Link CW. Let me try to catch everything here. Link CW thing to represent the brand's anniversary. I understand it's Prime and should not be HasLab, should mainline, but that is a convoy, not Prime. What are we talking about here? Did I miss a conversation somewhere? Talking about, I guess, doing a convoy for HasLab. I don't know. My stance on HasLab is different than a lot of other people's, so a lot of people don't agree with my opinions on HasLab, but as someone who gets the HasLab items and engages with it, I feel like I should have a little bit of an opinion. Anyways, MediaMax, how do you think a new Legacy animated Optimus would incorporate back into the fire truck? Do you think they will forego it completely? A Legacy animated Optimus, in my opinion, because we have that listing, so we do know it's happening. Based on how the Prowl looks, I imagine something that's slightly more blockier than the Derek Wyatt / Marcelo art design. Um, Aaron, who is the guy who did the toys? I know the guy who did the Bumblebee. His name's on the tip of my tongue. That did the Optimus. That did the sculpting for it. But anyways, like I imagine it being a blockier version of that design. It'll still have that face that's recognizable, but it's not going to have that Bruce Timm, speltness that Derek Wyatt applied to those animated designs. So that's the way I kind of see it being done. And it'll be a Voyager class. And it won't have the back fire truck part because it's a Voyager class, so it won't have the budget to have the full fire truck. It'll just be the front cab with the big axe. And it'll probably be, it'll be a good figure. I think it'll still work out. I mean, the Prowl looks great, so. Sarah, where is our purple Barney in Rise of the Beasts? Guys. Again, you're putting way too much characters in one movie. Introduce the Maximals. Then you build to something else afterwards. This isn't going to be the Michael Bay movies where you get the Maximals and then you'll never see them again. Hey everyone, here's Sideswipe, and then never again. Hey everyone, here's this character, and then never again. Or we'll kill them off screen. No, they're trying to build to something here. They're going for trilogies now and everything. They're going for that. Airy Nuts with the $2 super chat. Airy Nuts, excuse me. Possibilities of Dinotron, Fractal, and Pack-Rat. There was a listing for both Fractal and Pack-Rat that were, geez, I want to say I talked about them on the podcast 6 months ago. Dinotron, that's a deep cut, but Fractal and Pack-Rat, those will happen. Those are trademarks that are out there that are going to be used. Pack-Rat's an easy one because they have to do something with that rat trap mold. They only used it once other for that Netflix 2-pack. And then the rumor is that Rat Trap is going to be a partial retool into Tasmanian Kid in the future, which I can't confirm that, but that's what I've been told. But sure, Pack Rat, easy blue repaint. Look, they did it with the Generations Rat Trap. They might as well do it again here. Heck, they did it with the oh no, they didn't do it with the Creo. They only did the regular Rat Trap. Thought they did it with the Creo too. I don't know. I have a vague memory of that. I guess not. Guess not. Man, we got 3 minutes left, guys. We got 3 minutes left. Get your super chats in. We got 3 to go. Princeton Phalanx 59 with a YouTube member question: will Proto be getting a new Funko Rise of the Beasts Unicron? You know, it's funny, they haven't revisited the movie stuff because they did the last time Funko did the movie stuff, they did Age of Extinction, and that sold extremely poorly. Primarily because, again, Funko relies more on nostalgia and mainstream audiences, and Age of Extinction didn't move any toys, so of any value anyhow. So the Funkos sold very poorly. So maybe, you know, if Funko has muscle memory, they might be a little worried to do it. But if the Rise of the Beasts movie is extremely successful, has a lot of audience, you know, positivity, then maybe they could do it. But considering the lead time of design that it's going to take in order for it to happen, it might take a year before we would see it after the movie comes out. Aaron answered the question about diecast. Good. I must have missed it. Some gets lost in everything here. If I miss people's questions, I apologize. It's just, you know, YouTube and Patreon get priority over everything. So if you want your questions asked, it's got to be Patreon or the YouTube members, the green names with the icons. Sarah says, did you see the review of Animated Prowl by TRDQ? I have no idea who that is. He called himself Animated G1er. There goes Rodimus. He tipped over. He calls you the great animated figure of all time, and he says that now feel the pain of Prime fans with RC. No idea. I'm not big on watching toy reviewers. The only person's opinion on a toy that matters is myself and my own opinion. I personally kind of feel toy reviews are like a spoiler. I like to open up the figure for the first time and experience it myself and go, "Oh, that's cool. Oh, I didn't know it does. Oh, I like I don't really care about toy reviews. I used to do them myself and then I stopped because I was just I used to do the toy reviews because I like to talk about the characters. I mean, I look at my last toy reviews that I did all those years ago, and it was me more wanting to talk about the history of Shockwave than actually talking about the toy. So I kind of learned that at the end of the day, I really just want to talk about Transformers than do toy reviews. It's not my thing, and I'm not a fan of it. I prefer to just enjoy it for the first time myself. It's like a spoiler. Timmy K Poindexter X Wire. He made it. Well, Timmy, we're done. Actually, we just finished. That's it for the Transformer Slag podcast live stream main event tonight, people. Thank you all for coming. It was a great live stream. Thanks everyone who came. All of the YouTube members, which are the green names, which if you want to be a YouTube member with the green name and the icons, hit that join button down there. If you don't want to do that way and you want to support us through Patreon, Patreon has its own benefits and goals. Some people, they double dip on both. But if you want to join the Patreon, you have the Discord there and the other stuff with the Patreon. There's that too. I wanted to talk about some TFCon stuff and everything. I don't have enough time for that. I'll save that for next week and bring that stuff up too. Someone's asking, what am I having for dinner? Pork schnitzel, deep fried. The wife is making that, some really good stuff. So we have that happening with some rice and everything. So keeping it simple tonight, a little unhealthy, but whatever. Um, but yeah, that's for dinner tonight. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being part of the live stream today. Thank you for Aaron Archer for coming to hang out with us too. Thank you to all the YouTube members, the Patreon people, Goober, Larry, all the other dudes who also came by also. Uh, it's always great to have you guys again. If you want to support the podcast, Patreon, YouTube, join, member. There's all kinds of different ways to support us. Also, check out, you know, Aaron Archer, Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. If you want to get more Transformer content outside of what I do here on this channel, there's also that stuff too. Check it all out. I'm out of here, people. It's Saturday night. Time to chill, play some video games, play with some robots, and relax. Yes, I do have a wife. I just don't like to talk about my personal life because people are crazy. People who know me, they know. They know. They know she's very pretty. But anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Take care. Love you all. Time to roll out with the robots in disguise. See you laters.